Hey, it's been a while since made a video. It's like my opening in line now, but it's true. It's really been a measurement of time since I made a video. Anyways, so I was thinking today I was watching a video on YouTube and it was pretty interesting. But um, a lot of videos I've noticed about rifles and stuff are I have a Gazelle, I have a Knight's Armament, I have a Anderson, I have a Palmetto, I have a whatever. Now there's you get into the whole argument of quality versus quantity and engineering and materials used and that kind of thing. But I think we have to really simplify at the end of the day. Uh, as far as the AR pattern rifle, you have an AR pattern rifle. Yes, there's tons of stuff you can do to it to make it better or a specific task or whatever. And in my mind, I'm just always working on simplifying things. So here's what I kind of came up with: the four most important mods or modifications you can make to an AR pattern rifle. Now, I think people will think of the accessories when they think mods. That's not really a mod. That's just an accessory. A modification really has more to do with the actual function and how it works versus to enhance how it works. You know, for instance, you can modify a car via the exhaust, suspension, wheels, tires, intake, exhaust, you name it. But if you just put a wing on it, you're not really doing anything important, unless it's downdraft on a high speed. Anyways, sidetracked. So there's four basic accessories you can get for any AR pattern rifle, which is the flashlight, an optic of whatever, whether it be red dot irons or a prism or an LPVO, a sling, obviously, and extra batteries to run the optic and the bat and the flashlight. But as far as modifications, and since I've had to work on my a couple rifles now, and I had to send one in to work on a level that I don't have expertise in, but was able to watch and understand, and ask questions afterwards, and it really helped out a lot. Um, Whether it be an Anderson or Gazelle or what have you, they're essentially are four core components that you can do. And I'm kind of reminded of like Grand Thumb's video about the PSA that went, I think, 2,000 rounds, 3,000 rounds, whatever it was. And this kind of partially inspired me too. So, say you get an Anderson or a PSA. Well, what you can easily do is um, you can change the barrel. I had like the Hansen profile barrels. I put on two so far. The original one I had was my 16-inch Bushmaster, which is now a medium profile mid length gas system, 1 in 7 twist barrel. It was originally a 1 in 7 twist barrel, but it was a pencil profile barrel. And I just rather have the redundancy and, in my opinion, the medium to heavy profiles just last longer. So I changed that out. Also, my general purpose rifle, if you will, I got this from Mid-State Firearms out of Mississippi. And if you've watched the channel, you know I've had issues with this in the past. Now it's completely sorted out. It fires 223, 556, no problem. It's also a mid-length 39 pin and weld gas system rifle. So you change the barrel, even if you have like a mid or entry-level rifle. Criterion makes excellent barrels, Briar barrels, Hansen, great barrels. And that's where your quality is really going to rest, and in bolt carrier group. With the decent barrel over, say, a factory standard barrel, they tend to be more accurized, cold hammer forged, melanite treated, what have you. So that's probably the first thing I would do, and they're actually not that expensive, between $100 to $300, and anything in between. So not a deal breaker. The second thing you do is you can change your gas block. I should put system. For instance, like I just said, my Bushmaster that I had, I went from a carbine length gas system to a mid length gas system. Softer felt recoil, less blowback, less harsh on a system. The con would be if it gets in like dirt and mud stuff, it might have the gas pressure that's robust enough to kick shit out when it comes down to it. But really, I don't really think it's a big issue, especially if you use your dust cover and your magazines in. Really, nothing should get up in there. There's been lots of tests about that. And I just think it's worth the trade off. I think there are more positives than cons to that. So I would suggest not so much for the rifle length guys, right? Because essentially you can go longer or shorter. Pistol length, like the under 10-inch ARs, to me are essentially just a waste of time. I have a hard time in my mind even finding a practical use for a PDW, but that's just my opinion as far as I go. But I would say change your gas block, gas system. Really like mid-length. Mid-length's really good, especially if you have problems with the seals are breaking in. Basically just fire more 5.56. Now, probably within 200 rounds, we'll take care of it, more than likely. I have not seen a local gunsmith that actually knows what he's doing. The BCG, Bolt Carrier Group. I usually change mine out. You get your standard phosphate M16 style bolt carrier groups. I bought a couple Toolcraft nickel boron BCGs. They work great, no problems. Clean really easily. Recently, I watched a video, and CAC Industries has this amazing BCG I kind of want to get in the near future. And how it's different is on your standard bolt carrier group, right? It has these scalps here. This is badly drawn right here. And they have these gas ports that blow out the hot air through your receiver out to your face. Now the CAC gets rid of that, and it has 4 ports on the bottom of the bolt carrier group that blows it down to the mag well. Now, there's been people are concerned, I don't want fouling carbon locker in my magazine. Well, if your bolt's going back and forth over the cartridges, you're not going to have any buildup because it's expanding the cartridges. And then you're just left with an empty magazine. And the only function it has is a spring. It's covered by a follower. So really, you're talking like super negligible carbon buildup, if any. It's really amazing. I forget the channel. You just have to look it up. CAC Industries, KAK. And they were using the suppressor, and it was like, I don't know, just a guesstimate, 60% reduction in gas to the face. Like you might have some like little wisp of smoke, which is probably carcinogenic in the future, as we'll find out. But it reduces it greatly. I think with a CAC Industries bolt carrier group and with some kind of gas busting charging handle, you would be good with your traditional suppressor baffle stacks, and may not necessarily need a low pressure suppressor, but if you do, it would also work with that either way. So really, it's just engineering catching up to us, and that's amazing. I really look into that. And the final thing is your buffer weight. Your buffer weight is more for carbines and with or without suppressor. A lot of carbines come over gassed because the gas port size is like 0.750. And so the design feature is like from earlier, you want to blow the crap out of your receiver group, your bolt carrier, in case there's like mud and gunk and shit built up in it. So you want the extra gas to push that out, right? So the problem with that is it cycles way harder than it should, and the dwell time is very quick. And you want the proper dwell time because that'll affect your bolts exiting and your your extraction path, whatever it's called. In a carbine system, I think if you're running a suppressor, especially a dedicated suppressor, an H2 or H3 buffer makes the most sense. Also, I think with a carbine system, at least an H1 buffer, even if you're not running suppressor, is probably a better idea. I think it'll actually slow down your dwell time, and it'll make your parts last longer, and won't be as harsh to it. Now, with something like a mid-length gas system here, Really, maybe with a suppressor, you might want to use the H1, but it's such a soft shooting system, anyways, that it's really probably not that big a deal. So, just my opinion, but if I was going to use a buffer for a suppressed mid length gas system, probably just an H1 would do. In mine, I just use the standard carbine buffers. I like the tungsten better, but like your just whatever comes with your rifle is actually good enough to run with that. So basically, the long and short of it is the most important parts you can change to make your entry to mid level comparable to a premium level would be change your barrel to a better manufacturer's spec barrel. Do due diligence and research, right? Change your gas block, maybe from carbine to a mid or to a rifle length, or whatever parameters you've set up. Maybe you want to change from a mid to a carbine because you want a 10.3 or 11.5 more compact system. That makes sense. Change bolt carrier group to a better quality bolt carrier group, and your buffer. So your buffer, bolt carrier group, your gas system, and your barrel. And I think you could take any Anderson PSA, maybe not ATI Omni, even a Bear Creek, and I think it'd run comparable to at least a BCM if you do these four things. BCMs, I think, are at least a gold standard. I don't have one. I would love to have one, but the best rifle I've personally owned has been an M&P Sport 2. Great barrel, decent gas system. It's carbine, but quality rifle. And so I think this is actually very affordable, and you don't have to do this all at once. Say if you wanted, the most important thing to do probably, if you had to boil it down to two, would probably be your bolt carrier group and your barrel. And it's probably the best if they come from the same company because you know they're manufactured to lock up in spec with each other. But anyways, yeah, I was just thinking about some gun nerd shit, and I figured I'd hit you up with this. That's it for now. I'm still reading 2 books I'm reviewing for Jack Morris for the Modern Citizen Project. I'm sorry if I got that wrong. Just got done with the first book. Really interesting. It's designed. It's kind of like a Ranger guidebook, but from a more citizen, relatable, non-military standard to bring you up to speed. Because obviously, civilian defense group or whatever is not going to be seen as a infantry in it, obviously. And the second book I'm reading is about reconnaissance, and I'm about halfway through that. So probably my next video will probably be reviewing these 2 books. But I've had a really good time reading and enjoying it. And the more you're around each day, the more you learn. And it's your duty to learn every day to become smarter, more well-rounded person. Anyways, enough of me preaching. You guys have a good rest of the week, and I'll catch you later.